What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. This is Steven in Stereo. We're just going to get it out of the way. We are going to be checking out Avril Lavigne's debut album, Let Go. This is something that you guys have been asking me to do on this channel since I literally started this fucking channel. I will say of all of Avril's albums, this is the one that I was most familiar with, and that is because, well, let's face it, she broke out with massive singles when this came out. So naturally, I got this album when I was young. However, what I will say is, though I'm sure that I've played this all the way through before, like I'm sure that I've listened to the entire thing, it's pretty realistic that I only listened to 3 songs. So there's 3 songs that we're obviously not going to do in this reaction because I'm so familiar with them. It's ridiculous. And that's Complicated, Skater Boy, and I'm With You. I'm With You being one of my favorite Avril Lavigne tracks ever. So basically, the rest of this is kind of like a first-time reaction because this album, if it ever got played through all the way, it hasn't been since 2002 when it came out. So I'm really looking forward to this. Now, before we get into today's video, all I'm going to ask is that you guys go check out Patreon. The link's in the description. It's the only way this channel is supported. It's why I'm able to do these fun album reactions. So I put these videos up as full uncut album reactions over on Patreon. So we listen to every track we're going to listen to all the way through. There's extra reactions, all kinds of stuff, versus the YouTube version is usually a lot shorter. The songs are cut for copyright reasons and just for pacing to make the video, easier to watch all the way through. So if you're interested in a more like one-on-one jam session with over 100 albums, as well as just like 400 cool videos in general that you can't find anywhere else, go check out Patreon. Links in the description. All that out of the way, I'm excited to dive into this. So we're going to start with track 1, which is Losing Grip. I also love this era of music because there was a lot of like, punk kind of like leaning tracks that would have like an acoustic guitar as well. And hearing the kind of like, you can hear it in this instrumental. It's so interesting. I've always loved her voice so much because you hear that little bit of like Canadian accent come out, but then she has a very like unique style in her range. It's cool. I'm really glad that she did the music that she did. I mean, she's done everything we've seen in her career now, but I'm glad she did the music she did because she brought a lot of like really strong vocal work, like a very pop centric vocal, into like this cool pop punk space. It's awesome. Oh, I kind of remember this. Oh. This right here is why I love her in this style so much. Pop punk kind of in general and like pop rock takes those like really like talented vocalists and songwriters of the pop world and put them in that rock space. And I feel like the emotion that you get from that is real because I feel like, anything that's on that emotional like rock attitude kind of style, you're going to like spill your heart out in an entirely different way. So the crossover is amazing and Avril's a great example of why that just sounds so good. You know it's gonna get heavy again. Oh, wait, what? Where did that come from? Oh my God. So many instrumental switch ups. Oh my God. Just everything about this, the guitar break going into like just that transition right there. The fact that Avril already sounds so great vocally, but then we're getting those, various tones of that harmony, all I'm assuming her just in various layers. It's so good. I fucking love that harmony so much. She just captured that angst that people had at the age she was at, and you capture that angst and everything that's going on, and you can just put it into so many avenues of a song, and you hear it all throughout this song. Essentially, why am I putting effort into this relationship that you're not putting any effort into? Why am I the one who's having to hold on to keep us maintained? Why should I care? if you're not there when I need you, then what's the point of any of this anyways? And Avril is essentially just talking about the fact that she's letting go. And I love that that's representative throughout multiple instrumental breaks in this, where you could hear either the vocal breakdown or the guitar breakdown a little bit. I like when you can kind of match that emotion with the instrumental, which you get here. Such a cool fucking track. Okay. It's funny because, like, you know, lead with this, which is such a strong song right away. And then 3 heavy hitters, Complicated Skater Boy and I'm With You, which literally went on to just, I'm surprised Complicated doesn't have 1 billion streams. I know it was before the streaming era, but like, it's not that far off. And I feel like it's going to happen. TikTok's going to bring Complicated back, and then it's going to get 1 billion plays, and good for Avril. Okay. So obviously we're not doing those 3 tracks. So this is Mobile or Mobile. Wait, this is sick. Gotta admit, the experimentation in the instrumentals is really interesting in this era. Like, there's like a pretty good amount of complexity to that. Okay, this is really interesting. So I'm just trying to like put myself in the place of what was going on at this time, 2002. It's your first big record deal. They're going to want to see the different sides to you. I have never heard anything from Avril that sounds like this, which is so interesting. And it makes me think that they kind of knew the sound that she had, but also like, let's see what other styles people grasp to, because I've never heard her do any of this, like, what is it, like adult rock slash like even like a little bit of like country twang in there, but also giving me those like Michelle Branch kind of vibes. It's almost like, hey, try this out and see if this style works. I never have heard Avril this way, so it's super interesting to me. Oh yeah. Definitely that 90s like alt rock, pop rock kind of sound right there that you would hear a lot of. Super interesting to hear her do this. I'm waking up to say I've tried instead of waking up to another TV guy. Ooh. You guys gotta let me know. I mean, I'm sure we'll discover it because we'll have to do the discography, obviously. But you guys gotta let me know if she ever used this sound again. I mean, maybe she will throughout this album, but just in her like discography as a whole. I'm super interested. Okay. Oh. Wait, listen to that transition too. Like, so obviously the vocal work here, super strong. And then the guitar kind of changes and everything just kind of shifts right here. Ready for it? That snare sound right there pretty much symbolizes like the Sheryl Crow like big singles that I would hear. I feel like anything around that era, just it's giving me that so much. You guys know I love this part. Any melodies like that, I'm a huge fan. So here's my thing with this song. The song is very good. It is produced well. It is just so not, I never got into the like Sheryl Crow. I never got into like any of those like acoustic rock sort of like pop ballads. It's not that I don't like them. I just like I don't know. Like I feel like you hear one and they kind of all sound very similar. And that's what I think about this song. I feel like it's almost like it was written to see if, because Avril does this sort of like, obviously like she's very much inspired by pop rock and pop punk and all that stuff. It's almost like they were like, okay, I wonder, because you have a rock background, if we should also do this other style that some other artists that, you know, had a rock background were able to come out and do. It's executed well. It just feels weird, I think, because I'm not expecting to hear Avril do that sound. Now, I say all that to say, good for her to fucking, you know, be multifaceted. It's why she was able to do those different styles throughout her career. But super interesting. So I feel like I just don't have the background to appreciate it as much. I do like that la la melody at the end. One of my favorite things. Anyways. All right. This next track is Unwanted. What a good riff. Super heavy. Oh man, I love her accent coming through right there. Also, this vocal work is super strong. A lot of power. Oh, yes. Oh my God. Avril. I gotta take it back just a little bit. You guys know what I'm about to say. First of all, I appreciate how heavy it is. But these notes that she goes into, these little bit of harmonies that are happening, I'm fucking obsessed with this. Oh my God. So good. Oh my God, let's go. Wait a minute. Why are we not talking about this song in 2023? What the fuck? This is like one of the coolest Avril songs I've ever heard. Oh, you're moshing. You're fucking moshing to this. This is my favorite Avril Lavigne song as of right this second. I can't believe that, like, there's a huge chance I've heard it when I was a little kid. There's also just knowing that my Avril Lavigne Let Go CD, if it even still works, because let's face it, we didn't take care of CDs very much back then. Somewhere it is there and I could put it into a radio. And this whole time I could have just unlocked the fact that this song is fucking dope. This is my favorite Avril Lavigne song that I've heard. Wow. And it's on the debut that I've had access to for so long. It just shows a lot of strong pieces here. You've got a very heavy instrumental, slow kind of dread building with that like ballad style, which I'm a huge fan of. And then you have Avril really showcasing another style of her vocals, really putting that like deep emotion in, where you're getting almost like this little bit of rasp. She's going into these like super high, like intentional crack sort of vocals, and then having these like harmonies behind them backfilling gives me just all the best pieces of what Avril has to offer. So good. Okay, this next track is called Tomorrow. Tell me that it'll be okay. Yeah, I try to believe you, but I don't. Oh God, I fucking love that. I try to believe you, but I don't. Oh, I love those harmonies right there. You know what I like about this is I love the fact that obviously Avril was really young when she recorded this, whenever she, you know, gained her way to fame, which is why I love a lot of the songs on this album, like Complicated, Skater Boy, because those tracks felt like real, because Avril, at the age that she was writing those songs, it all kind of makes sense with what you're going through in life and stuff. And I really appreciate that, because it makes songs like Complicated and Skater Boy, and even Tomorrow, have sort of longevity to them, because these are emotions that everyone will have experienced at some point in their life. And I also like the fact that it's not like, it just kind of feels like Avril is singing and putting these lyrics together, and these vocal structures and the kind of things that she's doing are just so on point for how old she was at that time and what she would have been going through in life. And I love that. I think it's why I love like punk and emo and all these things, because it's like you go through all these traumas when you're like a teenager and then you just never get over them. So you sing about them into your 40s. But I appreciate that piece of it. It leaves a little bit of immaturity there, so we don't always have to grow up. Oh. She has such a unique sound. I love it. Ooh. Oh, yeah. See, that's another thing I love too. It's like, yeah, she had some songs that really took off and that really helped seal the deal. But like, she was so much bigger as a musician vocally than just the singles that came out. You're hearing that with a song like Tomorrow. Like, she has some really beautiful vocal runs here that aren't in the style that you would normally expect. Try to believe you. Not today, today. Tomorrow it may change. Okay, so little bit of an acoustic banger through here. You know, It was okay. It's so hard coming off of a track like Unwanted and then like trying to take the mood back down. I know that's got to be so hard to put a album together with songs so you keep the energy a certain way. But what I do appreciate about the song is you get to see a lot of these different like vocal workings of Avril, different styles, different tones, going in ranges that I hadn't really heard her do before. And I think that's really cool too, because you're seeing that versatility of her, even though she did kind of get cornered into a sound just with the popularity, the difference in popularity of the songs that became singles and the ones that didn't. You kind of get backed into that. But this really does show that she has a lot of styles. Again, goes on to talk about the rest of the discography and how she was able to change things up so much. So the next track we're listening to is Anything But Ordinary.
Even freak myself out.
I mean, same.
I laugh myself to sleep. It's
Oh,
is it enough to breathe?
shit. Oh, I love the way she delivers those lyrics. Listen to this.
Somebody rip my heart out and leave me here to bleed.
So sick.
Is it boring?
That's, you know what? That's fucking right. That's right, Avril. Walking in between the lines would make your life boring. Don't fall into a box and be like everybody else. Experience your shit while you can. Woo! I love those notes she hits. Woo! Oh. Okay, I love this instrumental change right here. So good. Listen to how, like, just perfect this is. Oh! So good. Yeah! Oh, shit! Oh, yeah. That's, you know what? That's one of those songs that I'm actually shocked didn't become some sort of a single, because it's got all the writing pieces you would want. It's got great lyricism. It's got a strong meaning about living your life different from the way that everyone tells you that you should, or the way that you should be, following just the rules. Maybe you should go out and experience things and see what makes you happy. You know, maybe don't drive super fast just to feel the danger. Although sometimes, yeah, I guess you do need those moments. But it's got that lyrical piece. It's got really excellent songwriting and structure. Like, that chorus is very big. It feels very bright. I want to sing it while I'm driving. And I also like that because the song is talking about being a little weird, not being like everybody else, they really utilize that in the production. I feel like from the very beginning, the way the instruments were coming in, some of the different sound effects you were getting felt very weird, very space-like. Even with some of the transitions and everything, it's just like they made sure to keep that touch there a little bit on the vocals, wherever, just to give it that. And I like that. Like, give it the personality of the song. Give it the same kind of feel so that we just feel that all the way through. So, super sick. Okay, this next track we're listening to is Things I'll Never Say.
I'm trying to keep my cool. I know it shows.
Oh, see, I love just like little vocal moments like that. That was nothing crazy, right? But you hear a little bit of her accent coming out, and it's one of the personalities to her voice that I love. Oh. Okay, so I love relatable shit like this. You've been in a relationship or possible relationship with somebody that you really cared about, and you were just too scared to tell them how you really felt about them because you were afraid that you would lose them or that they would judge you or whatever those things are. And Avril is struggling with that right here. I wish I could tell you that I want you to marry me and make me your life and all these things, but I'm just gonna be bottled up inside because I can't seem to just get it out and let you know. It's so interesting to me to listen to this all these years later and think about like where the success of the singles went. And I'm just a little bit shocked because I feel like they could have actually drained more out of this album because some of these other songs would have also been very strong singles. This song gives me complicated vibes in the way that the song is written, in the way that the storytelling is sort of going. And of course, the instrumental is very similar with that acoustic and rock, whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, like, this is a strong contender for a big single too. Yes.
Things I'll never say. I can say what I wanna say. I say I wanna blow you away.
Almost talked over the queen. Whoops. You see, this is why I think that'd be such a strong single, because this feels like the kind of energy that we've had in a lot of music recently. It kind of makes me think of like why it was cool for Avril to come back and do the Love Sucks album. All these years after doing the like alt rock kind of stuff, coming back to it and coming in so strong with it, it was super cool because that sound is popular again. And it's so cool that artists that were already killing it back then at this time could come back and do it, you know, like that. But I also like the writing style. You know, you hear that like Olivia Rodrigo sound, which is, you know, I'm a huge fan of Olivia because she really does bring like that inspiration from alt rock and all that stuff, just like Avril did. But also with, obviously she would love Avril Lavigne. I imagine she's a big fan, right? So to hear those kind of styles coming through, just knowing that Things I'll Never Say could end up on the radio today and it sounds just as fresh. It just shows that this album really held up despite the way the music industry is always changing and shifting. Okay, this next track is My World.
It's always gotta be the same. Never wore a cover up, always beat the boys up.
I love that as she's saying that, like 5,000 population town, like you hear her accent and also a little bit of like Southern twang to it too, which I love.
Where do I belong forever? Nothing going out daydream.
Oh yeah, what? This is so sick.
In this head, my thoughts are deep. Sometimes I can't even speak.
I love this. You gotta, you know, the amount of popularity that Avril had even at this time was amazing. Like, especially back then when you're selling like physical copies of shit, like you are making a crazy amount of money. You are so famous. But one thing I love about her writing style, and it continues in My World, is it's so fucking personal and relatable. And the reason I love that is because in My World, I'm getting Avril Lavigne singing about her beginnings and growing up and all of those things in the small town. And I'm getting to see the person that is the artist, you know what I mean? Like you really get to experience more. The reason I say that is because at this time, like throughout the 90s and the 2000s, I felt like because social media really didn't exist, you didn't have any sort of communication with these artists. They felt so much larger than life. Like there was no access to them. They're essentially like characters in a book. You know what I'm saying? So to have songs like this, when a lot of singles weren't super personal, right? So like to hear a song like this and just like know that you're getting to experience those small like parts that make this person who they are, that turn them into that artist, makes them feel a little bit more reachable.
Days, my eyes tune out the other way. I may switch off and go in a daydream.
Oh, I love her voice right there.
In this head, my thoughts are deep.
Oh, and this good bass riff. Well mixed in there. Woo! It's so upbeat. This is sick. I like it. I love how upbeat it is. It's very well written. I love the personality behind the lyricism. The thing that was that was just like so easy to be drawn to Avril was because she was singing about relatable shit. So in this song, you get that exact same thing. You get to hear the humble upbringings. And back then in 2002, it fucking mattered. These days, we just see it on social media. But there was a time we didn't have that kind of connection. But again, it's amazing to me. So many of these songs really any of them could have taken the cake for being on the radio, right? I like this one because, again, it leaves me kind of like Tomorrow did, where you're getting to experience so many different sounds in the voice of Avril Lavigne, which I think is really fucking cool. Still to this day, obviously it mattered all the way back then. Okay, the next track we're listening to is Nobody's Fool.
See, I'm for real. I feel it only I can feel, and if that don't appeal to you, let me know, and I'll go, cause I flow better when my colors show, and that's the way.
Wait, I fucking never knew that she did this. This is so sick. Also, I'm just gonna bring this up because I'm thinking about it. I know where that Step Up sample is from. Hold on, wait for it. All right, you ready for it? Right here. What? It's the Tupac sample. Come on. That's so cool.
If you want a bowl, here we go, not so soon. I might have fallen for that when I was 14 and a little more green. But it's amazing what a couple of years could be.
I just love that. If you're trying to turn me into somebody that I'm not, just know I'm not down with that. Fool, I'm nobody's fool. I need somebody to cover this in modern days. Fuck. What an interesting song. So I love this. First off, I absolutely love, I've always felt like hip hop and like punk and hip hop and like metal. I feel like those genres are so close. They both have like a big voice. They're both standing for things. They're both, have their own styles, but like the crossover between hip hop and punk, it's been going on forever. So like, I've always kind of like enjoyed that. Hence the reason we got a lot of like rap metal and rap rock and all that stuff that kind of like came out in like the 90s and 2000s. I love that Avril has this style where, again, we're getting the personality of somebody at this age doing this. And I love that so much because it's so fucking relatable. So super cool to hear. I love to hear like it was Tupac and Digital Underground, I Get Around, but you hear that step up, like that's super fucking cool to me. What else I like about this is the songwriting. The structure is so good because you have this sort of like rap verse and it's kind of like laid back, but then that chorus comes in really strong, but even it is a little bit laid back. And then you get to the end of that chorus and it's just fucking so good. So I'm a huge fan of this. Actually, one of my favorite songs that I've heard on the album, obviously Unwanted is king, but Nobody's Fool is up there for me. Okay, the next track is Too Much to Ask. Oh. This song kind of feels like it builds off of Complicated a little bit, right? Like she's talking about, obviously like she cares about this person and she loves these pieces to him that he's too afraid to show. Like in Complicated, he thought he was too cool for all these things, right? But in Too Much to Ask, it's almost like, can't you just like stop trying to be so tough and just like let your emotions come out? So like I can make you feel good and then I can like see that you've like enjoyed this, right? But the other thing too that I heard, I think she said, is you chose weed over me. And that's so lame. Like what a cool fucking line. To look at your face again, can't you see the delight of yourself? You can't see the world through a zone. Is that too much that I'm asking for? I love this because you feel Avril's emotions through this. Like you feel her pleading for this person that she cares about that keeps like doing her wrong, but she keeps showing up. But it's kind of like losing grip to me, where losing grip, she's, trying to hold on to this relationship, but she's starting to not be able to have the strength to keep holding on anymore. And Too Much to Ask, same thing. It's like, I'm trying to get you to break out of this zone and be the person that I know you are, but you're so caught in whatever this cycle that you're in is that you're losing me. And it's almost like you just don't even care. Avril's style really works so well in a ballad form like this, where you have, a lot to build on in the instrumental, because she has that really great songwriting, again, super relatable. And I like the strength that she builds on and on throughout a ballad. I appreciate the fact that emotions intensify as things go on. And like, she has a bridge moment and then gets right back into it super strong. And this is another one of the songs that showcase that. Just it's somebody who loves somebody so much and they're just pleading for that person to just like notice and like be themselves and, stop trying to be someone that you're not. So super strong from her. The last track of Let Go is called Naked. Life is like a game sometimes. Then you came around me. You made me trust. 'Cause I've never felt like this before. See, that's a big step in a relationship too, because I feel like whether it's your first relationship or it's your first one after something like really bad happened in a relationship, you have so many barriers up, so many walls. Naturally, we just want to protect ourselves. And you do get to a point with somebody where you can do that. You can remove the walls, you can remove the boundaries, you can be scared, but also live in that moment. It's a great thing, but it's also terrifying to let somebody have trust again, especially after going through something. So I get it. Wait, bring that guitar back. Come on.
I'm trying to
All right, take it back. Oh, they should have ran that a couple more times, right?
I'm trying to see right through me and I can't hide.
Oh, I love the melodic guitar in the back. I want more of it. So many pretty vocals in that. Oh man, I love that. Here's the thing. I like a song, again, that's relatable, which is exactly what we're getting from Avril throughout this entire thing. Being around somebody and putting yourself in that vulnerable situation to just let people know how you feel and let them see through all the defenses that you've ever had. That's so hard to do. And I love the writing style for this. Almost had a ballad feel to it. There's just something about the pacing of these songs that give it that. And I'm glad it does. It really caters to her voice so much. So again, another song that I could have seen being super massive. This is a really fucking good album. Like, I'm genuinely shocked that I didn't actually listen to this whole album like for real or like ever when I had it, because I stuck to those same 3 fucking songs right there, 2, 3, and 4. And I feel like I missed out on a lot. And I hate that because this is so good. Like, for example, I just heard Unwanted, which is now my favorite Avril Lavigne song. It's so fucking good. Also, Nobody's Fool. Literally such a good song. These are songs that have existed for so long on this album and I could have heard them. But honestly, other than Mobile, and it's only because I think I need to give it some more listens, this album is so strong. Like, those singles were strong, but track by track, this is a great album. It is just so well put together. So well produced. Avril sounds incredible. For this being a debut album, it comes out so strong. Getting to see the unique characteristics of what Avril is into and what she wants to put into the music, mixed with, you know, that pop style that became like very popular at this time, that pop rock sort of like crossover that had like this like punk theme to it. I think of like Good Charlotte and bands like that, which were big in the mainstream pop punk scene, but Avril crossing into the real pop threshold. Fucking amazing to see, amazing to hear every track and realize just why. This album stands the test of time, especially in more recent years in music. This album can be held directly next to the greats of modern day, and I think that's so cool. We saw Avril put an album out in this era and it did very well, and it's because this is popular and I'm so happy that we got it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you guys smash like on YouTube and let me know. Also, subscribe to the channel. There's almost 300,000 of y'all. I appreciate you. Make sure, if you want to see the full uncut album reaction to this, as well as over 100 other albums, link is in the description. Check out Patreon. It's only $3 to sign up, and there's so much content, and there will be even more. I love you guys so much. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.